Hello, my name is Joshua Brown from the job aptitude testing website howtobecome.com, and in this presentation I will teach you how to pass a P&G test. So if you have an interactive assessment with Procter & Gamble coming up, then please make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to help you to pass. To achieve that goal, I'll cover the different types of P&G test questions that will come up during your assessment. Plus, I'll give you the step-by-step instructions on how to tackle each of the P&G assessment test questions, such as the numerical reasoning, the checking or switch tests, the abstract reasoning, and the memory assessment. I'll give you essential tips to help you pass your P&G assessment at the very first attempt. Plus, I will tell you where you can instantly access over 560 P&G test practice questions and the fully worked answers. And just very quickly, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I want to help you pass your P&G assessment by giving you the toughest questions to prepare for. And I can only do that if you are subscribed. And please don't forget to hit that like button because this tells me you find these tutorials useful. Okay, let's take a look at the logical reasoning tests. Now, as part of your P&G assessment test, you may have to complete a test which is known by some as the checking test or the switch challenge, which is a type of logical reasoning assessment. This test itself will last for 6 minutes and you have to answer as many questions as possible in that time. The better you do at these questions, the harder they will become. Equally, if you answer incorrectly, your next few questions will be easier. These won't be worth as many marks. Therefore, my advice is to practice as many questions as you can before your actual assessment so that you find these question types easier and then you score higher. As you can see from this example, which is designed to help test and improve your fundamental skills when answering these types of questions, it may look confusing, but the way to answer them is simple. So the question is this: in which order should the boxes be checked? You can see here we have an order for checking section and an order for checking the boxes section, and you can see a little icon there for the lever. The answer options you have are this: A, 4123, B, 1423, C, 3142, or D, 4231. Now, as I said, it may look confusing, but the way to answer these is actually quite simple. So on the right hand side here, we have an order for checking the boxes key. We can see that in this example, the white box should be checked first. Now, in the order for checking section, we can see that box 4 has the lever icon on the white box. Therefore, box 4 comes first, starting our code with the letter 4. Next is the checkered pattern. You can see that here, and in the order for checking section, we can see that box 1 has the lever on this pattern. So the next number is 1. Then it is the solid black in box 2. Followed by box 3, which has the grey gradient, making the correct answer A, which is 4123. Now, I want you to try some of these questions for yourself. However, if you need to rewind this video to understand this fully before we move on to the next section, then please do so, as it is so important for you to take your time to get these right before moving on to any timed questions. Get the foundation right, and then you can improve on your speed with practice questions. So now it is your turn. Please put your answer to question 2 in the comment section below this video for marking. I reply to every single person who leaves a comment on my channel, so please put your answer below and I'll mark it for you. Here is the question. Question 2. In which order should the boxes be checked? Here are the boxes and the order for checking. Is it A, 4213, B, 2431, C, 1432, or D, 1324. Now I'm going to give you 10 seconds to work this out. If you need more time, please do pause the video. Like I said, get really good at answering these questions correctly, and then you can improve your speed by taking practice questions. So your 10 seconds starts now. Well done. Don't forget to let me know your answer in the comment section below. Let's take a look at another one. Here are your answer options. Again, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to work this out, starting now. You're doing great. We'll take a look at one more before moving on to another type of P&G assessment question. So this is question 4 and here are your answer options. Again, here is 10 seconds to work this out, starting now. How did you find that? Do let me know in the comment section below so I can mark your answer options for you and give you any further tips if you need them. Let's now move on to the numerical reasoning tests, or as some know them as the calculation tests. And just before we do that, at any point during this tutorial, only if you want to, you can click that link in the top right hand corner of the video and head through to my website howtobecome.com, where you can access 560 plus P&G Aptitude Test preparation style questions, including the ones that we're covering right now. Plus you get the fully worked answers and the strategies to pass each question type to make you the standout candidate. Okay, here are the calculation tests, or the numerical reasoning tests. Here is one of the example questions, question 5. You can see here we have a series of question marks, a multiplication and an addition symbol, and we get the answer, but we do not know what the calculation was to work out the answer. That is what you need to work out. So your task is to work out which numbers should replace the question marks. Please note that you can only use the numbers between 1 and 9, and a number can only be used once in the calculation. However, for now, you can use whatever numbers you need to get this right, because like I said, we'll get the foundations right and then we'll up the difficulty, and I'll give you some harder questions in this tutorial, don't you worry. It is also important to note the rule of BIDMAS, which must be used. So to work out the above example, you could use the following steps. Step number 1. Understand which calculation needs to come first. As per the rule of BIDMAS, brackets, indices, division, multiplication, addition and subtraction, multiplication must be first. And that's because we have addition and multiplication in this calculation, but as you can see with BIDMAS, addition comes after multiplication. A comes after the M. So multiplication must come first. We then move on to step 2, which is to find a multiplied figure which comes to less than 23. For example, 7 times 3 equals 21. Next, in step 3, we can finish off the calculation by working out which figure added to 21 will give us the end result of 23, in this case 2. So a correct calculation will be 2 plus 7 times 3 equals 23. Please note there's usually more than one combination which can be used. For example, another working example here are 7, 2 and 8, 3, 4 and 5, and 5, 3 and 6 to name a few. So you're absolutely allowed to use a bit of trial and error here if you need. Again, pause the video and run through these steps again if you need help. And now we're going to move on to some practice questions for you to take under timed conditions. So question 6 is this: question mark plus question mark subtract question mark equals 15. So I'm going to give you 20 seconds to work this out, starting now. What was your answer and how long did it take you to work that answer out? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's take a look at another one, but let's make these a little bit more interesting and also test you in a similar way, so that will help you prepare for your P&G calculation assessment. This time the question is this: using the digits below, complete the following calculation. Each digit can only be used once, and we have the digits from 1 to 9. So again, I'm going to give you 20 seconds on the timer. Don't forget to put your answer in the comment section below and I'll mark it for you. Your 20 seconds starts now. Okay, great. Let's take a look at one more before moving on to arguably the hardest part of the P&G assessment for many. So question 8 is this. Again, you have 20 seconds on the timer starting now. Super, well done. Let's move on to arguably the toughest element of the P&G assessment, which is the spatial reasoning and memory tests. In this challenging assessment, you will have to complete 2 separate tasks. And just before we do this, don't forget, if you'd like to practice any of these questions in mock exam conditions, you can click that link in the top right hand corner if you want to, and head over to my website, How to Become, where you can instantly access my 560 plus P&G assessment test questions and answers resource. Okay, let's move on to those reasoning and memory tests. So how does this assessment work? Well, in this challenging assessment, you will have to complete 2 separate tasks. Throughout the test, on 3 separate occasions, you will be presented with a grid and a black coloured square, which will appear on the screen for a short period of time. Your task is to remember when you see this and the location of the black square on the grid. Here is an example of a grid. As mentioned, you will see this briefly, and your job is to remember where the black square is on the grid, as you'll be asked to recall this information at the end of your spatial reasoning tests. Let's take a look at a sample spatial reasoning test question. So many people struggle with spatial reasoning questions the most. Let's take a look at the first one together. So which answer figure, A, B, C or D, is the odd one out? Well, can you see the odd one out? Well, the best thing to do here is to look for patterns. Looking for patterns is crucial for answering abstract reasoning questions quickly and correctly. The patterns may be to do with shapes, colours or both. For example, we can see here that the shapes appear to have all the same colour pattern. A white outer shape, then a black shape, followed by a white shape in the centre. The only shape to not have this is C, making the correct answer option C. As you can see, option C has a white outer shape, a white shape again, and then a black centered shape, which is different to the other 3 answer options. So what I want you to do now is to take a look at your first grid with this black square. So you need to remember this location. Take your time here. We're going to move on and take a look at more abstract reasoning and spatial reasoning questions for you to answer. And I'm going to show you more grids like these, and you have to remember the answers. So the way this works is you'll be shown more grids just like this one in between each spatial reasoning question, and then at the end I will test you on your memory. Keep a mental note of these grids and the black squares, but do not write it down anywhere. This exam is designed to test your memory, so there's no point in writing it down and cheating the exam because it will not help you for your actual assessment. Many people really struggle with this, so you may need to practice these questions a lot. So start with this grid here, remember where that black square is. I'm going to give you much less time on the next grids to come. Okay, here is the next abstract reasoning question for you. Which answer figure, A, B, C or D, is the odd one out? I'm going to give you 10 seconds to work this out, and then we're going to look at another grid. Here we go. Okay, here is your next grid. I'm going to give you just a few seconds to memorize this. Don't forget the location of the black square from the previous grid also. Okay, here is the next spatial reasoning question. Which answer figure A, B, C or D is the odd one out? 10 seconds starting now. You're doing great. Here is the third and final grid. Make sure you study the grid below and memorize the position of that black square. Okay, let's take a look at the final abstract reasoning question, which is this one. Which answer figure A, B, C or D is the odd one out? Again, you have 10 seconds starting now. So now you need to do two things. One, let me know your answer options in the comment section below for the spatial reasoning questions. And number two, you need to answer this final question. Can you remember the correct order and location of the black squares from the grids you saw in between each spatial reasoning question? It's hard, isn't it? Well, here is your question. Please recall the location and order of the black squares from the earlier grids. And please choose the correct option from your four choices below: A, B, C or D. The numbers within the black squares represent the order that they were shown to you, so you must choose the correct answer option. Let me know your answer in the comment section below. Now, if you want to get more questions like these in mock exam practice conditions, then please make sure you click that button in the top right hand corner of this video right now. Head through to my website, howtobecome.com, where you can get access to over 560 P&G preparation style aptitude test questions and fully worked answers to each question. You can literally have online access within 2 minutes from now, and it's guaranteed to help you prepare effectively for your next job aptitude test, and also, more importantly, put you ahead of the competition. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe, as I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible pass their aptitude tests and job interviews, and I can only do that if you are subscribed. Please also hit that like button, as that encourages me to make more videos just like this one. If you have any questions regarding aptitude tests, please feel free to put these in the comment section below, where I will get back to you. And finally, don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below. It's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best with your assessment. Have a brilliant day.